Hi everybody, it's Jess, your go-to D.League global commentator, and we're here taking a look at Round 5 Block Vibe. I am so honored to have been in that room where it happened with these matches, especially just, oh my god, I'm through the moon. Cannot wait to dive in, and stay tuned for a fun little outro that I have. I'm going to be doing a giveaway, so make sure that you stay through the whole thing, and you'll find out more details there. So we're going to look through, I've already watched these because I was there, and like I did with Hype, I'm going to be showing live reactions of the results so you guys can see how I felt in the moment, things along those lines. So I'm ready to look at these again. I hope you are. Let's go. Okay, so we started the first match with a freaking banger of a lineup. I knew that Santa was going to be here, and we are currently watching him on Great Dance Crew Season 1 and Season 2, and so I was really excited to actually be able to watch him dance in person because I've really admired his movement quality and how he dances house specifically. And seeing them walk out in these types of fits, it reminded me a lot of, they had a routine called Greed that was so captivating, truly beautiful. I mean, eyebrows where? We don't need them for this dance, right? I'm so excited. We really like him because he is the director of Life Full Alt Rhythm, and I had the privilege of meeting him yesterday, which is super cool. Santa! Yeah! Everybody's in character for all of this too, which just is so... It's so nice, and Life Full's really good at that. They've always been great at that. Ugh. So I was moving around this go around. I didn't stay in the same spot. Which I personally would say the seats that I originally had were really great seats, but I really wanted to see what it felt like in different sections of the arena. So I sat high up on the balcony, I didn't sit on the ground floor or anything, but there's really not a bad seat in the house. Even the seats that they don't sell, because it's obstructed viewing, they're really great views where you can still see the dancers. And you also have the screen too that is basically this. It's just... yeah, I really do think they did a great job on how they structure the venue, where there's really not a bad seat in the house.
On the red corner, Valuous Infinities.
Now their walkout, what you'll see, was so interesting. I thought we were going for a military gameplay style because we didn't quite catch what, you know, the concept was. We did get, because you know, I had Dan with me, and Dan was our translator, which is freaking awesome. But he was saying basically they're trying something new. But like, look, do you see what I mean? That he's NPCing right here. That's what it felt like. And I don't even remember if they used that gun in the set. Oh my gosh, yeah. Tatsuki. Cool. Everything is very efficient in the rehearsal, but there's still a lot of genuine interaction, just like what you're seeing right there.
ブレイキン、ヒップホップ、ハウスなど各ジ
Yeah.
ャンルの精鋭を集めその融合とコード
And
す
clap,
る唯一
yeah.
無二のバリエンスインフィニティーズラウンド5のメンバーはこちら。今回のエースはディレクションである直樹が担当します。そんな直樹さんからは今シーズン初ディレクションとエース、この会場でバチバチ気合の入った作品を踊れること楽しみにしてますという言葉をいただきました。これまでのラウンドとはまた違ったインフィニティーズのダンスをお届けします。メンバーが海外で受けてきたインスピレーションを作品に落とし込んでいるのでお楽しみくださいとのことです。
バリエンスインフィニティーズ現在5位。
Trying to think here. I'm super curious about y'all's thoughts on this round, especially because you guys streamed only, on what you thought the verdict was going to go. Because I think with all 4 matches, if I'm remembering correctly, I guess the right teams that were going to win. And specifically the Change Raptures versus Quants matchup, I am so looking forward to getting into that because there's a huge thing that happened with Change Raptures that I don't know if it showed up on camera. And then the Full Cast versus Katakawa Dreams match, there's something lighting wise that happened that I also don't think showed up on camera. And something, if you notice, our MC Sway, he does his battle setup, right? Like he sets them up in the opposite corner to the team that's walking up on the side. So, you know, you see from one side to another, he switches. That's why. Whoa, oh my god. So I saw this, I didn't see this from a straight shot back. I saw it from the side. And it was so cool to see there. I cannot wait to see it from the front. I'm so excited.
7, 6, 5, 4,
3, 2, 1.
Playful alt rhythm.
I love it when they do routines like this. So much. Ugh. God. Look at that. Yeah. Yeah. Now this part, synchros are really hard to tell when you're not facing the front. That was cool. So I was expecting whacking when Callan showed up. I was expecting house usage when Santa showed up. Oh. Wow. That was even smoother here than I was. Yeah! Whoa, my god! Oh my god, oh my god. God, it's even cooler. It's even cooler from the front. We're gonna let them finish before I say anything else. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Oh. Thank you!
Thank you, Waifu Alt Rhythm! ありがとうございました。さ
ライフルアルトリズムこの作品で自らに問いかけ
Guys, oh, we got our commentator guy.
黒の二律背反アンビバ
Back,
レントな衣装
I
が
found out where they are. So remember what I said yesterday? How I was like, I don't know where the commentators are. They're in a suite, like officially. Found out where they were. In a suite. In the beginning, you do see them, you know, overlooking the stadium and arena. But they're like, they're enclosed. So they're not here the same way that, you know, I was.
どう出る
My god, guys. Okay, so from the side, I wasn't able to catch Ace the way that I was able to see it here at all. And I think part of that does come from, it is a low-key obstructed view, but you are closer to seeing them though than in the back of the room, obviously. Now, with how these get judged, a lot of these details you're able to see from a fixed cam, like middle of stadium where judges are. They're the only ones who really get that kind of shot, which all that, oh my god, that read so well from the front. Wow. Now I don't even remember. I know who wins. I don't remember by what margin and what categories they ended up winning with. So I'm gonna look at that again, and then we'll cut to my reaction.
The music, man, the music brings to the table, and dancers dance to the music. Hip hop is about your problem and the rhythm beat. Why are you talking about my problem?
Like this is great from this side. Nice. Timing of that was pretty good. One of you guys had asked about, you know, that sometimes the stream, the sound gets a little bit off. The Katakawa full cast match, I can absolutely tell you how the music is for that. Oof. Content-wise, I really do like the textures that they're doing here, the complexity within it. But it's such a different change of pace from the intensity that we got from Lifeful, which is hard on audience side. Now I can tell who I would pick for Synchro, because remember, I don't actually remember who won what. BPM change was cool. I liked the synchro section of Lifeful. That was cool. But notice there that he got out of the spotlight. You could see that really, really clearly on site. I think that was a component to that ace. So I really liked the context. That was a fun fake out that they ended up doing. That Lifeful did in their synchro. That ace seeing. Thank you!
Thank you! Valueless Infinity!
As much as, you know, this match would have loved to see from the front, I really liked being able to see it from the vantage point I did, because it's a different experience a little bit when it's live. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead, we're going to cut it here. You guys are going to see my reaction, and then I'm going to bring it back to us here to talk through the whole judging side and break that down a little bit more.
バリュエンスインフィニティーズか。それではジャッジの結果を見ていきましょう。配信でのブルーリード。会場ジャッジをレッドを取り返している。テクニックブルーがリードしている。
That's what.
黒はブルーがリードしている。39.4 勝者は Blue Corner.
Okay, so you saw how I felt
配信での
about
ブルーリード。
this.
会場ジャッジをレッドが取り返している。
And
テクニックブルーがリードしている。コレオグラフィーをブルーが優勢。
gosh,
シンクロブルーがリードしてい
honestly
る。
seeing the synchro and the ace from the vantage point that we just watched it makes so much sense because it was hard to see ace. He did so well because how he got out of his ace into the next feature with Santa, and then with our next feature on literally getting on top of Santa. It was like building, like Legos. It was so fascinating, and it was really, really cool to see there. And the synchro too, I really liked the risk taking on it as well. Super fun. The Valuants, they didn't have as much variety of style like Leifel did, and I think that worked in their favor for technique. But notice it's not a full-on wipeout, you know, shutout, and I don't think it needs to be. I think with stuff like this, it's really nice that we can appreciate both. I do think Valuants' routine read better on the stream than live, but it could very simply be my vantage point, so I have to remember that. But they did say they were trying something different. Did it work? I think maybe against the opponent and what the opponent brought, maybe not. But man, Leifel bringing something like this, they know how to use a special performer because they've done that with Denzel. And then they've done that here with our two. Hats off to that. This was a fantastic routine that they brought. Okay, this matchup, I had we almost had a full-blown injury take place on stage, where I do think, I mean, and you'll see it happen. That's what's it just hurts my heart to see. It's pretty brutal, and it's especially Anyway, you'll see it. I'll tell you what though, I was expecting the team to win because of how freaking amazing they set that routine up despite the issues they faced. Really, really cool. This one ended up being one of the most intriguing matches of the entire round. Vibe and hype combined. This whole situation.
今までやってこなかった大技を使っているのでそこに注目。今シーズン新加入チームとの対決なので負けられません。
Oh, to the ground we go.
小物使いの秀逸さなど独自のクリエーションで会場を発揮するチェンジラプチャーズラウンド5のメンバーはこちら。今回のエースにはユウヤを起用。硬いヒットは大地を揺らしウェーブが幹を巡る。チームの幹が今うねりを上げる。エース起用のユウヤさんからは未だかつて挑戦したことないことが多い今回の作品なので目が離せないと思いますという言葉をいただきました。幹を中心に共に支え合う姿を投影した作品をお届けしますとのことです。
チェンジラプチャーズ現在4位、対戦チームに対してテクニックとエースで優勢です。エースはユウヤさん、昨シーズン6回出場して5回エース取ってるらしいです。非常にエース獲得率が高い。
Their dance is so full out compared to last year.
どんな幹が出てくるんだ。どんな幹でしょうね。
いや、どんなんすかね。でもなんか木の質感とか高そうですけどね。
衣装から見るとこの根っこだったり葉っぱが見えてきます。
With the gong though, really happy they did that. Now where I was sitting here was at the top in the back of the arena, you know, where a lot of times where you have handicapped seating, like in America, you know, that kind of space where you have the little tables and that kind of stuff. That's where we were at for this particular match. So
やりたいことぶち込みました。
it was good.
長い腕を生かした繊細なボディーコントロールに注目です。
Still Valentine's Day themed, and by me recording this, it is Valentine's Day here. I don't know if it's Valentine's Day yet. in America. But happy early Valentine's Day.
新しいスタイルのリリアに注目。またまた新鮮なマッチをお届けします。絶対に勝って花道歩いて帰りたいです。
And on trading cards, just remember I said that you get trading cards depending on what kind of membership you are. I got a holo of that guy. A holo, you know, it's like a shiny version of his card, so very cool. Feeling super cool. I sincerely would love their song to be a step chart on Pump It Up or DDR or something. It's perfect in BPM and sound.
M&A 総研クォンツラウンド5のメンバーはこちら。今回のエースには東大卒のインテリジェンスを発揮するタイミングだからという理由から腎臓を起用。そんな腎臓さんからは体に眠る図形を表現しながら幾何学的世界の中に潜む異物としてエースを踊りますというお言葉をいただきました。さまざまなトライがありながら大いなる勝利に向けて日々頑張っております。今回もまた違う顔を皆さんにお届けしますとのことです。
M&A 総研クォンツ現在8位、しかしながらぶっ飛びパラメータ全チーム
With
中シンクロが1位なんですって。
for their team
クエア
dance,
ということで
like
幾何学的なアニメーションが見れそうな期待感。
that would be a really fun one to do, to learn. I don't think I've learned that one. One day I'll learn them all. I did tell myself I would make it a goal to learn them all, but I'm really glad that I was in the space while I was there to just be absorbing and not so focused on learning dances, to do dances in the environment exclusively. It was really nice. But now, next time, I'm absolutely going to do my homework and try my best to learn dances. I think it'll be fun that way. So I feel prepared. Yes, and they have props. I think somebody had mentioned that it's not a Change Raptures routine without props. They're not. I would say they're not 100% wrong on that. It's really fun. They're like the cool. They bring like a theater prop set. They're like the cool theater kids. Oh, crazy stuff. That was so readable. Yep. And it's a freaking waltz count too. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, this ace was so good. The lighting was so good. A beautiful tone setter. The expansion of the prop. Look at this. That was clean. They were so competitive in every category. Look at the prop. They're using themselves as props. See, I didn't get to catch that detail from the back. That's cool. Using the sleeve. Yep. Yes. All of this was fantastic. Yep. Okay, watch. That was so cool. Using people as vines to grab on. And I thought it was so smart for them to use Yuya for multiple features. Now, if you notice, you may have been like, was that a crash? Was that supposed to happen? No. The base that Yuya was on, the two people, they fell. So that was considered a crash, right? But they don't have deductions for that for this. Now I need you to watch this. Actually, no, you don't have to if you don't want to. This part. Oh. Yeah. Oof. Thank you. That was really scary to see live because of what happened with Quants last round specifically. But he's okay. Seeing that, they swarmed and checked on him so fast as soon as that dance was over. And he did technically land on the ground in time, which is crazy. But that was not supposed to happen. So they had 2 falls. I would say one of them a way bigger fall than the first one that happened. But that's like, you would think that that would completely just wipe your whole routine. And so you'll see, you know, you'll see my thoughts on the results and then we'll go from there.
そうですね。かなり生の質感だとめちゃくちゃ良かった気はしますね。まあただ質感とかアニメーションとかで言うと、特権コーンズはかなり強い。なんか今回衣装を見る限りはそんな感じするので、どういう対決になるかって感じですかね。
And what's funny is Celeste had mentioned, Celeste, my camera woman, partner in crime for all things YouTube. She loved the fact that Kelly has a little book that he talks through and uses to reference. It's so fun.
多様な才能と技術を持つダンサーたちが集結したこのチーム。今宵、大いなる勝利に向け掲げたテーマはスクエア。アニメーションダンス特有のデザインされた質感やポーズを追求。このラウンド、勝利をつかむための方程式は解き明かされた。
So I did say this when I was there. After seeing all that, I'm like, this is low-key Quant's match to lose. Because if you would think hypothetically, if you just had a clean routine for whatever you choose to present with no injuries, no crashes or anything, that you should be able to score pretty aggressively. But you're gonna see the results, and then we'll chat about it. All of that was really cool. A ton of grid work where you're using and framing geometrical angles and lines of grids. It's really fun. The angle switch is nice. All of that was great. Fun add-ons. Some of our lighting was a little bit, or it's our placement within the lighting is a smidgen off for that. But I want you to take a look at the timing complexities that we're not really taking some opportunity to grow in, but all of that, vibrations are freaking sick from the team. Some of the best vibrations from a group, for sure. But how they frame it with the track that we have, the break off is really nice, right? The fold in is fun. Like, all that's great. The open is fine. We have a lot of isolated duo and solo moments with build-ups, which is cool. Like, that part's sick. That was way more readable here than whatever I was seeing from the back. But I do believe we're not taking full advantage of the quantity of people. Like, this all looks really nice. But we are sticking to our style very similarly to how Valuant stuck to their vibe as a team. Even though they were doing something different, it was still very Valuant coded, right? In format. Here, this is a very ASOUKENQUANTS format. But can I just say though, firstly, thank you!
Thank you!
M&A ASOUKENQUANTS. I appreciate the fact that they have what they want to be as artists or as a team. Animation, waving, animated waves, popping. Those are what they are super good and proficient at. There's teams that, you know, I would say the team LDH Scream is an example of one who hasn't quite found what they want to be known for in direction and in artistry. Maybe it's the beauty of creating or not replicating, diving into different various areas, or being known for choreography concepts, being known as, you know, Life's the Theater Kids, you know, stuff like that, fun like that. But notice that they're like, they know we had some crashes, like we had some issues, but that setup there on establishing a waltz count based African tribal sound, like the percussive exploration on that was incredible. The wind, this, oh god, all of that was so good. Now, what you're gonna see is my reaction to the results, but I said that Change Raptures still could win, is what I said. You're gonna look, see my face, see whatever commentary you have there, and then we're gonna talk about it here.
Alright, Change Rapture set, despite the two falls, was so competitive. They could still win a couple categories, but I have no idea how this is gonna fare. Quants had really good readable technique, but they had simple pockets. Yeah.
コレオグラフィーもブルーがリード、シンクロもブルーが優勢、エースも大幅にブルーがリード、64.6対35.4、勝者はBlue Corner Change Rapture.
I'm not. It makes it interesting because I don't disagree with that, because I remember what I said last round. I was not a fan of the impression of Quant's set was influenced off of an injury because of the categories that they did. But however, we streamed that. This is live, and seeing the injury happen here, where it was in context of the competitiveness that their set was, that just proves to you, don't count yourself out, because they had two major falls and they still really took over, and I 1000% agree with that. So it also makes you wonder, do we ever do deductions for stuff like that, because you don't want to have a liability happen on stage. That's why you have deductions at times. So it's a curious thing if we're ever going to have that in the league. I personally think we're all grown, and I love the fact that they still got awarded for a sick routine.
Okay, let me try to, let me look at this again.
会場たちもブルーが優勢、テクニックもブルーが上回っている、コレオグラフィーもブルーがリード、シンクロもブルーが優勢、エースも大幅にブルーがリード、64.6対
Now, I'm really happy that the ace score wasn't really influenced off of the drops and all that kind of injuries. Like, I mean, I do think somebody did get injured, I think was what was said, and I'm glad that, you know, hopefully he'll recover and be okay. But this one in particular I know is interesting, and some people may be like, oh, you guys crashed, you shouldn't have deserved the win. You remember what I said last round about it really did give the impression that with Quants, that's what happened, is that with the ace got injured and then they had to go into synchro, that affected so many other facets of the routine. I think timing in which an injury happens or timing in which a crash happens is really important in these. And it also shows you do not give up at all. I think I do end up saying that live on site. This is a true example of that, and I know that they are so disappointed. I want you to know the fact that they still won, despite what happened, just shows you if they didn't have a single crash that happened, I think the score would have been even more aggressive against Quants. I'm really glad that Change won for the performance that they brought, because there was so much that you can take from everything that happened within the respective match. And I am one of those people where they did, side note, they took a lot longer to submit, to get the voting in for this one specifically, and it did feel like I think they had to talk about the crash situation. Because, like I said, they don't have deductions or anything like that for this space. Should they? I think that can help with some form of regulation, not for costuming or for music or anything, but for if you have a crash or you have, not an injury, but something like that happen where something falls out, receiving a deduction on that because it's a liability and safety thing, you know, that every major competition has a deduction list like that, which is why I think it wouldn't be abnormal for them to have it. But then on the other end, you know, I do appreciate the fact that we can still have a routine that's like this, have the issues that we have and still win. Because I know if there was a deduction list, that would absolutely factor into they could have lost because of that. And they would have been like, yeah, we deserve to lose. I don't know. But they should be so proud of themselves. That was truly such a captivating thing to see in the timing in which we saw it. And I'm so glad that it wasn't worse than what it looked like. He was able to get up, things were fine, but like, whew, that was really, really scary to see. Because we already had that sensitivity because of Quants' injury last round. Do you know what I mean? So, whew, goodness. Okay. This matchup was so interesting. I mean, you've already heard me talk about it. DYM's set. Yeah, it was so fun. And I would, oh man. Sega Sammy's intro to their set was so freaking cool. I'm so excited for the lighting of this one. This one and round 4. Yep. Love it. Hana.
このメンバーで全てかっさらいに行きます。
タクト
これのパンク魂見せつけます。
Yasmin, my girl, and I got her trading card yesterday, so I was feeling really good about seeing her here and also getting a trading card of my spirit animal, Joshua. Now, I wasn't super familiar with these two individuals. I bet you I've seen them, especially him. He looks very familiar. No, he's not Rachka, I know. His name is similar. Just take a letter, move it around. I believe they're from Ghetto Funk Collective from the Netherlands, if I'm remembering right. And this was, I didn't really like associate it at all. I really didn't know what they were going to be pulling. I just knew they had special performers of these two individuals, but I couldn't cite them. And I love the fact that I didn't know until I saw it, and I was like, ooh. And if you watch my hype from yesterday, I had talked about how they have updated the lighting for the second half of the rounds. Normally, D.League does stuff like that, where after the middle of a respective season happens, they either beef up the bumpers, like they change the bumpers, or they change the lighting, or they do something different, which I actually really like. And I love the vibe in the back. So fun. They're like, what's up? The energy was really contagious here. And a lot of the dancers, the D-Leaguers on the side, were really vibing with these guys being here. Because I was also looking at seeing how they were reacting and like expressing with them there. With just different special performers and different teams going out. Where was I for this one? So I wasn't standing in the back. I was seated. I was seated in a back row of a balcony seat. Joe! With not I don't think anybody was behind me. I think we were in the last row of that. Hinata. Because we were also trying to be our limitations because I was press, I was media, right? And we were trying to be respectful of those around us to make sure we weren't having somebody, somebody in the shot when they, you know, we don't want to invade on their showing up on our camera. Look at that. He looks like a pro wrestler, doesn't he? He just gives that aura and energy. I love it. I love it. Squad and get closer to God, closer to God. I love that his photos, black and white. How fun. I will say, guys, for the fact that they live stream this and they have all of this, you know, done, where you have the numbers and the stats and all of that prepped and the fun Happy Valentine's in the corner and the commentary already fed in, with the commentary being in the back suite of the arena, and you have your live stream. Live stream may be set up there, but the amount of cords that you would need to hook all this mess up, and that's aggressive. Seeing the camera guy go from one side, blue corner, red corner, the cord that is behind his camera is so long, and he literally has a person, an assistant, that just wraps the cord because that's how freaking long it is. So just the logistics is crazy. And the drone too is really small. It's about like the size of my hand, and my hand's pretty small. And it was just going all over the place. I think they do a good job with their drone work whenever it gets used. And the fact that the drone is hooked up to as a potential, you know, when you have a switcher, switching between the different camera angles is crazy, right?
実力を提示するストリートの BRP 違った色が混ざるのではなく一つの束になる国境を越え言葉を超えて人と人がつながっていく音、体、空間が重なり一つにテーマはユニティメッセンジャーズとゲロファンクそれぞれの強烈な個性と個性の奇跡の融合ダンスの持つ本当の力今夜お届けしましょう DYM Messengers!
Here we go.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
DYM Messengers.
Once this section started up, I was like, oh, we're going there. These guys are Campbell lockers on the couch. Like, look at that. The couch and the table and whoa. Yeah. Now, I will say I was a bit worried on the synchro section for this because my guys from the collective or special performers, they have a different posture in how they carry themselves when they Campbell lock. So on this particular competition structure, I was like, what are we going to be doing here? But notice, I believe that's our ace, right? If I'm thinking correctly, no. He's our ace. Right there with the bean. No, that's our leader, right? Oh my gosh, we'll see. But my two guys, Roche and Joshua, they did exactly what they needed to do on their synchro section. The switch up there was so cool. That is super fun. It's also nice to see it close up because you can really see who's contributing in what ways. Yes. Yep. That was a fun moment there. It blacks out. We turn the lamp on. It was such a fun moment where it's turned into a low-key house party, right? The change of space. Now I could tell our ace was getting prepped in the corner because you can just see, even when it's dark. Like, look at that. Turns into a freaking trampoline, right? such a good ace for this. Using the couch as an organic level. Look at that. Turning the lamp off. Thank you!
Thank you, DYM
Man.
Messenger!
Man.
ありがとうございました。
That brought so much joy to watch. Look at that, yeah. That absolutely gets a clap. That was so well done. Caught me off guard on style. I was expecting hip hop because it's DYM, but I loved the candle locking so much. The approach was fantastic.
いやマジかっこよかったな DYM ユニティしてたわ
And so the benches that you guys see that are players who are in the round they sit on, they're called the kiss and cry because they loaned the bench style and the name from figure skating. Whenever figure skaters, when they get their scores, you know what I mean? I don't know how true that is because I'm not in the figure skating world, but that's what I was told. So it's fun that we have that element where they can sit and watch instead of just going off stage. I really like that. And it leaves for more fun lighting opportunities, which we will talk about in match number 4. Look at that, sitting in the chair. Those, okay, you see the green on that costume? That green read like an LED light because of the lighting that was on this routine. I'm gonna be so locked in for the first 10 seconds. So I'll share my thoughts after.
3, 2, 1.
After that at least.
Sega Sammy Lux.
I'm so curious about how this is gonna look. See, look at the LED looking lines on their outfit. This messed with my ears. Okay, can I just say, this stream gave 0 in terms of how the quality of that light that we saw there looked. It does not look the same nearly at all. It was freaking insane. The lighting shot on their costumes. It promoted a sense of, what is it? It was like a dopamine release just from seeing that, right? Oh, actually, I think one of our guys, I think it was our special performer, he ended up going the opposite way, I think. But this particular routine, yes, DYM's wasn't as refined. Theirs also wasn't super refined, but the full, I think, did it? Like, look at that. The spotlight looked even cooler. Like, all that looked so much cooler live. Come on, Can-Do. It was really cool to see him dance here. The speed travel across was nice. Nice. Great energy on this. It was cool. And then they have breath and they all come out because they hadn't done their synchro yet, and we were a little bit off in the back, and that's how I knew for this one. In the very beginning, if you look right here, I noticed it there live too. That was really fun. Hold on. Thank you!
Thank you! Sega Sammy Lux!
Very, very beginning of synchro, we got off. And that's how I knew DYM was going to take it. Oh my gosh. This was really, really cool. Like, we're going to go so far as to go back so you can, I'm talking about specifically what section. That part was cool. This sound, it did low-key hurt my ears. Like, it was messing with all that. Look at this. It's that red and blue. Like, that's so cool. Now this lighting right here, you don't see it, but it was these big, like laser-like lights that went right here. That right there, this does not give any justice to that moment with that costume. That was the coolest lighting thing I think I saw in the round. Both Vibe and Hype was that mess right here, and you can barely see it here. So that's the downside when you stream, is an element like that. But oh my god, that was so cool to be able to see. But like I said, right, like with the LED, it just looks like they have LEDs on their costume, which just really adds to this type of sound, with this type of exploration. I think the concept they were doing, well, actually, let's go. You're gonna watch my my face, my reaction to the results, and then we'll chat on our end.
Messengers かレッドコーナーのセガサミールクスかそれではジャッジの結果を見ていきましょう
Here we go.
Alright, I'm thinking DYM's gonna win.
配信ジャッジブルーリード会場ジャッジは連続巻き返したテクニックブルーがリードしているコレオグラフィーがブルーが回っているシンクロで巻き返しレッドエースをわずかにブルーがリード51.5対48点の勝者はon the blue corner DYM Messengers.
So I was expecting DYM to win. I will say side note, I don't know how it looked on the camera, but the lighting for Sega Sammy Lux in that first 10 seconds was insane. I don't think I've ever seen that lighting done at D.League before. At least I'm live. I mean, but here, yeah, right? DYM, the usage of a house party is what it looked like. And how they used a trampoline as a coffee table, and we integrated our A's, he said, boing, into his startup, and the beautiful usage of camel locking in such a fun, genuine way. They had it, it wasn't clean, but it was clear, and I think that is exactly the beauty of the essence of what camel locking is, and I think they showcased a brilliant example of it in using those special performers well, and the special performers did what they needed to do for that synchro section. So I'm actually surprised that Sega took synchro, because it looked a little off from my end, but I love the camel locking on that dance so much. I love it. Yeah, so the choreo and technique, DYM stealing those, not surprised at all. That was so cool to witness that live.
Sega Sammy ran deep. There was a ton of Sega Sammy fans there. This was really fun to see the pass back and forth on it. It was really, really cool. Okay. Yeah, they should absolutely celebrate. It was really, really fun. I'm glad that they won with what they brought, because they brought funk. They brought funk, and it wasn't just because of the special performers being there. I think part of it was, you know, something that was discussed, that I'm trying to remember because a lot of it was in Japanese, was working with dancers who don't know who know English. Like, Japanese is not something that they talk regularly, or they know very well, and so working with foreign dancers, I think they had even mentioned, I don't know if it was him specifically, but he had mentioned, our leader Ace, that the goal for D.League is not to just bring foreign dancers in, you know, to just do D.League. Like, they want D.League to be globalized, right? Which is something that I'm very honored to be in this position with you guys, and that's why we have a connection and trying to figure out what does that look like, right? And what kind of things do us as individuals outside of Japan who watch, because I know so many of you guys are outside of Japan, but shout out to my Japanese followers who watch this with us. Just being able to see what does that shift look like? What are some things that are existing here that really help curate that potential and opportunity to make this go bigger than just domestic, right? But I really, really am a fan of when they do bring special performers. It opens up really nice opportunities, like the Netherlands doing an article on DYM bringing in these two guys, right? Things like that. Because of the concept that Sega Sammy did, I like that it was close, right? Sega Sammy's concept is one that being really clean helps sell it. You know, when Cyber Agent pulls an idea like this, that's, you know, that kind of clarity really helps push it. Because when you deal with cyborgs, you deal with animation and clone-like movement, especially with the media exposure, and I think that worked against them for the choreography side, which is why you see DYM take that. On a technique side, you saw authentic cultural essence there, and I do think the special performers did contribute to that in setting up that environment. Now, I don't think they're not like, I don't know if they're American, but that's beside the point. It's that you saw an authentic like the traditions of Campbell locking showcase there, and that transcends where you're from, and I loved that so much. You could definitely tell they really cared about the style, and you got to see it. So it was really, really cool to see that live. It made me really happy to see that as somebody who admires dances, and it didn't look watered down either, and I think that's what made it really, really captivating. Can I just say, this match was insane to see live, because I think part of it was genuinely the energy that both of these routines brought to the space. Love it. Look, I can do it really, really well. So fun. And fun fact, I did ask a couple members from Kadakawa Dreams if they have to have the ability to do this in order to make the team, and they were like, yeah, of course. They even said their manager can do it, and I loved that. Oh, I love it. Love it, love it. Flame. That's a lot of money in his mouth. Silver's going up in the market, so Hinata. Yes. And it did not even occur to me until I think on Instagram last night. Satsuki shaved his head, with the exception of the little spirally hair. Right? And then Hinata also, I don't know if he's had his hair, you know, kind of bald this whole time, but like, yeah, they all went wild on the color. Whoa, they were prepped for this. And what we're gonna do is, before we get to full cast, whenever I'm talking about it here, I'm gonna put in my TWIGGZ bingo, and you get to see my live TWIGGZ bingo, because I did it. I almost forgot, and that would have been terrible, right? Those costumes look really, really cool up close. Dun, dun, dun. 1, 2, 3, Kadakawa Dreams. I know this one. I know this one.
The Ace World Killer TWIGGZ!
Killer TWIGGZ! That's right! That's right!
Infinity TWIGGZ!
2! That's right!
Kid TWIGGZ!
We're at 3!
Ill TWIGGZ!
4!
Tiny TWIGGZ!
5!
Wild TWIGGZ! E-Flow!
Okay! E-Flow is not a TWIGGZ! And the name!
KTR!
KTR, it's up 6! I do believe, I think KTR does have a TWIGGZ name though, so he's technically a switcher, but I don't play it like that. Gosh, I will say though,
But they have clothes on this time.
Okay, so you guys, at this point, you've already seen my TWIGGZ Bingo live, so this is basically a repeat. I find it absolutely hilarious, because if you've already seen this, you're gonna tell that the words that I say in that live review bite me. Their routine. They have a really interesting lighting thing that ended up happening that I'm so excited to talk about. Because I haven't seen it on the stream before, but apparently it's not the first time that they've done it, so we'll talk about it. Wow. Oh yeah, I was getting so hyped when Tiny came out. Because I said there's so many TWIGGZ today. Wow. I will say, my gut wanted to go with 6. But Dan had picked 6 already, and he didn't know that they had 6 at the time. And so for me, in my head, I'm like, what matters is we do a win. We get a bingo no matter what. So I purposely picked a different number. So I picked 7, which my heart knows, like, in theory, you know, do some of them have a TWIGGZ name? Yes. Do they go by a no? So it technically doesn't count. But it brought me immense joy to have been able to play TWIGGZ Bingo live. And I hope to always have that a part. I hope to be able to tell them one day. I didn't get to meet anybody from Fullcast, and that's okay. We have a lifelong journey to get there, right? One day, I will let them know that it is one of my favorite things to do. Just like I was able to tell Kelly that I got that his thank you is one of my favorite things. TWIGGZ Bingo will always be something for us to enjoy. What? Guys, I was a hot mess after this match because there was this matchup was such a this is why D.League exists, is for something like this.
KD 魂を胸にアジアから世界にこのチームの最高級のパフォーマンスお楽しみください。さあ紹介しましょう。角川 Dreams
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
I'm really curious about how both of these routines looked on camera because I was sitting in my usual media seat watching, so I had a really good shot. It's mostly on the red side is where I was at. From the beginning, we said yes. Okay, that's what I was wondering. God, oh my God. So that's how we're choosing to have the chair? This is the definition of having a synchro work in a diagonal. It is long and it is difficult. They maintain proper spacing the whole time on that mess. The speed changes, the difficulty in this mess was, guys, the arena was high bait F the entire time. We were a little bit shaky on getting to that hollaback with that arm, but we got there. Yeah, this add-on. This is what I think Sega Sammy was aiming for that type of not difficulty, but the clean clarity. Did you see that line, that LED line go across? We're gonna talk about that too. We're gonna wait though until both teams go. Like, the arena had a ton of full cast Razor fans because full cast, it was a sponsor night, which was cool because teams can do that. So it's very normal. That their lighting, like, oh man, that is one thing that I genuinely wish we could see more, and that's something when you have different camera angles you're gonna miss. Guys, oh my god, thank you!
Thank you, Kadokawa Dream!
They had multiple lighting choices in that. Like, there's that little green line. The vantage point that we had for that was Satsuki, after he balanced on the chair, he triggered the LED light to go across. And so that's it, yeah, that lost my freaking mind about that. And then also in the very beginning where we see that huge, the whole flipping sequences on our music and then having them land, boom. That was like the best landing to music to lighting cue that happened in the night. Honestly, in the round, it was incredible. So I was curious about how it was going to transfer over because we had the conversation. Somebody had commented about the sound a lot of times being off from what the dancers are doing. Yeah, do you see the full cast fans there? And then they're like all over the balcony too. That was on time. That looked pretty solid there. So I think at least for this match or this round, there hasn't been a lot of timing with the music issues, but I really want to hear from you guys if you notice it. That arena, it was the loudest it has been. This was a proper match for it too, because both Full Cast and Kadokawa are up there in the points right now. So this is a really big one. I thought it was just gonna stay chill like this, and I was like, uh-oh. And then he did this, and I said, oh, I spoke too soon. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah! God. Guys, this was so hype. This was so... so good to see live. Yeah! Yes! Yes! Ugh. Yeah, but you see that flag freeze. That's definitely something that they're good. That mess right there was one of the coolest lighting things I saw of the night outside of the second Sammy situation. We're gonna talk about that. So strong. Yeah, like, guys, this was a fantastic match. Yeah. It was interesting that we did the hat tricks, but the hold off there was so good. Yeah, but God, the variance on this is insane. You wanna battle me? Don't worry, we're losing clothes. Benefit 1 Monoliths can't be the only ones who are having a good time with less clothing this round. Right? Don't worry, there's more. When that happened, because Dan, my translator, we had a moment when this happened because we both were like, are they gonna do it? Is it really a full cast show if we don't remove clothing? Right? Woo! So good. Thank you. That arena was messed up. God, that was such a good one. Okay, so we're gonna go back. There was the part that says, "You wanna battle me?" That part. Watch this right here. Seeing the camera vantage point was sick. Yeah, so we're gonna wait for it. All that was sick AF. That was sick too, right? All this we love. All that. Let me see. Oh, did I already miss it? I guess I did. Whoops. That right there. You want to battle me? We got to talk about this. So the lighting. So remember, the kiss and cry booths in the side. You know who they're talking to? They're talking to Kadakawa because they're standing right there. And there's lights that are spotlight on that section that they are literally looking at them and say, "You want to battle me?" What? And apparently, because Dan, you know, he's not just, he was there as a translator for me, right? But also what he does with D.League is he helps the global marketing side, if I didn't say that. So side note, if you're somebody who wants to branch out on the international marketing side within Japan, or if you're in Japan and expanding outward, he's really good at his job. So just as a little side note, just a little plug for him because we stan Dan. He said that they had done something like this before in a previous round, but you and I have never been able to see it. Like, that's the best way I can describe it, is imagine that section illuminated, specifically the bench where Kadakawa would be standing. That was a full-blown, like, "You want to battle me?" But that was like the most respectful call-out situation I had seen. Dying over here. So like the people going, "Whoa!" That's what they're also saying that we don't get to see here, right? So just one more time. I'm so good. So good. So freaking good. That's right. We're just still let this happen. Let it happen. Yeah. So the quickness of them coming down and go over there. Watch. Yeah, look at this. The cheer. That cheer was because of... God, they're so wild for that. Okay. So, time to judge, right? So we've already kind of encapsulated. I love the usage of the colors. The orange in that. Ooh, goodness. So, you're going to see... Now you're going to see my reaction to it. And I do talk about quite a few things that we've already touched on. And then you and I will be back here to chat more. Oh my god, this was such a good match. To see in the flesh was insane. Guys, when I tell you, I beat the bar in front of me for how insane both of those were. Full cast, stripped on stage. I wasn't expecting that. Normally they start with their shirts off, but this time they worked in the appropriate order. Kadakawa went near. Yo, the lighting of this round, I'm like, I wish that this was, like, we could even capture a sliver of it on the stream. That is a huge component of seeing this mess live. I'm so looking forward to seeing this as, you know, in the stream, because there's some lighting stuff I know wasn't shot on camera, but I got to see it, and I'm like, yo, wow to that. Wow. I did vote Kadakawa was going to take a win, but not by a large margin at all. So it going like this was so good. Yeah. Okay, so this is actually the first time I'm processing who took what category. Because in my head I was like, what did we just... I was on cloud 9.5 watching that mess.
いや
I know. Oh gosh, full cash, should be so freaking proud of yourselves for this. Okay, it's down at the bottom. Okay. So what is it? On site, full cast getting on site, which is I think the second one. It makes sense. Why? Because so many full cast fans are physically there. But the stream, Katakawa's read really, really well in the stream that I'm looking at here. For technique, I know it's surprising, but I think what happens is variety of style really worked in this round's favor because of who I think's on your panel. I don't know the people on the panel that much, but within job scopes or within the scope of how somebody judges, if they're more of a fundamentalist, like I'm a fundamentalist, right? So I'm going to really care about a style that you do and how you variant it and how you calibrate it with music, with costuming, with difficulty, vocabulary fusion, but knowing that you have a really strong foundation in something. I've noticed with Valuance too in this round, they really stuck to their guns to what they do well, even though they were branching out a bit. And I would extend the same thing to full cast where it worked great. However, the opponents on both sides brought innovation through music, through the usage of props, the difficulty, because it is a comparison game that you have to play on this as well. When you're selecting, you're choosing a side. You're not really doing points. So if you think about it, the judges are not inserting points. They are selecting a side for a respective category. And then that turns into decimals depending on how many people within a category pick one team over another. So we see the points, the judges don't. And I actually don't mind that. I think that's how it should be, if I'm being honest, where you don't take a judge, you take a category from a judge, which so like when I'm saying the judging here this season is 1,000% on the right track. Could we also continue to innovate it and refine it? Always, until we all die, if I'm being honest, because everything's changing, the world's changing, how we perceive audience votes, how we perceive when we analyze or we look at choreography structure in general. All of that is something that is going to be different, subject to changing. When you involve, right now it's mostly domestic judges. When you involve foreign judges, if that ever happens, which I always think would be really good to do, especially if you want to go global. How does that framework with their cultural understanding of what they look at these styles as in a judge-based choreography headspace? So not talking about the culture itself, but talking about how it is measured in choreography. That'll be an interesting conversation to happen there. So I will say with some confidence, conversations are being had with those who have influence in D.League operations with stuff like this to continue to grow and refine areas like the judging. So I want you guys to know those conversations are happening, and I can back that with my own lived experience of my time there. I've had conversations like that I think that allow me the ability to be better in this position to advocate for what we're seeing here, right? They're a listening ear to what we're seeing and what we're saying. You know what I mean? So all that to say, this was an incredible match to see live. And it really, I think out of all the matches that we saw out of the rounds, because I know you guys are probably curious, I think this one, the streaming didn't do justice nearly as much as being there. The rest of them, it felt similar, right? But this one, the energy of the arena really, really, really impacted how these projected, in for sure. So my last little thing here is most valuable dancer. I did pick Yuya from Change Raptures, and he ended up taking the win for it, right? So I was really happy to see him there. So it was cool. It's cool stuff. Inside note, Dance K's jacket. I mean, I'm wearing the Dance K jacket. I wish that this had the same shiny material that Dance K's did. It looks so cool. But yeah. Wow. We're so here for this. I'm through the moon. So happy that I got to experience all of that live. So there you have it, guys. As you can tell, my eyes are dilated still from rewatching this. And if anything, I hope that it sparks curiosity for you about other components of the league that we never really get to talk about as much, because I personally have never experienced it in this way, because this was my first time going. And this will absolutely not be my last. And I want you guys to know the entire reason why I was able to experience what I was able to was because of you and the discussions that you allow me to be a part of, the conversations that we have together. It's just so humbling to know that the reason why I'm here right now doing this, talking about these things, is because of y'all's investment in me as a person, but also in the league itself. And I know that you want the league to grow and be something that is really highly regarded, and it already is, but more expansive internationally. Conversations are happening, not just with, the judging side, but with the logistics on providing more access to foreigners, specifically for ticketing, description. You can get tickets to D.League as a foreigner now, and I have a link that you can go to that takes you there to get tickets. So you don't need a Japanese phone number. So if you want to do that, great. But there's also, in terms of the bumper videos that they play, or adding more translation opportunities to a lot of their stuff to make it more foreigner friendly, so we can understand a little bit better what's being measured, like the judges' criteria, and what the dances are about before they get released as independent clips on the D.League channel. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. And if you made it to the end here, go to the community post I just posted about. Be one of the first, I think, 4 comments that say where you're from and your favorite team in D.League. And it doesn't have to be exclusive to the routines you see, but just the team in general. You're allowed to be bias heavy here if you want. And you will be able to win some keychains that I was able to get from D.League. And they're Valentine's themed because it's Happy Valentine's Day. And you can have, I think, you get 2. You win 2 if you're one of the first 4 that submit that. So there you go. If you made it to the end here, now you have a head start. So you guys know me, I know you, I'm Jess, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.